Daoud Kuttab is a Middle East analyst. He joins us now live from the Jordanian capital. Thank you very much for joining us here on TRT World. Now, historically speaking, ceasefire agreements between Israel and Gaza-based factions are no stranger to violations. So tell me, how likely is it for this latest ceasefire agreement to hold?
Well, traditionally, ceasefire agreements require two things. Require a political will, but it also require a pathway to a political solution. There is no pathway to political solution. There is no attempt to even have negotiations to end the conflict between Israelis and Palestinians. And therefore, no matter what happens on the military side, if you don't have a parallel political effort and a serious effort to resolve the underlying causes of the conflict, the ceasefire is going to fail sooner or later. Now, of course, people have to take some time to cool off and to heal their wounds. But as you said, a ceasefire will not last, is not a replacement of a peace agreement. A ceasefire requires a roadway, a pathway to peace.
So are you indicating that it wouldn't be surprising to see another round of escalation between the two sides?
Absolutely. Right now, the only thing that Israel has promised is that they will allow the Egyptians to intervene on behalf of a hunger-striking prisoner and an administrative detainee. Israelis gave nothing on terms of political addressing their requirements and the demands of Islamic Jihad. And therefore, Islamic Jihad is still hurting. Two of their leaders were assassinated in an illegal extrajudicial killing. And so I don't see how the Islamic Jihad over the long term will be quiet. Now, it takes two to tango, and we're not sure that anything's going to happen in the near future, but it's not going to last without a political pathway to peace.
Now, I want to focus on the bigger picture. The conflict between Israel and Palestine has been going on for decades. So let me ask you the big question. What could possibly bring this seemingly never-ending conflict to an end?
Well, it requires one of two things, either a change in Israel or a change in the international community. Israel is moving more and more to the right wing and more towards long-term occupation. And so what we need is help from the international community. The West, the US, Europe, Australia need to put their words to action. If they believe in a two-state solution, they must recognize the state of Palestine and they must put pressure on Israel to fulfill the two-state solution. If they don't believe in two states and they want to accept what some people call a one state, they should put pressure on Israel to stop its apartheid and to give equal rights to all the citizens that live between the river and the sea. So I think either there has to be a change in Israel, which doesn't look like it's going to happen, or there has to be international pressure to make Israel accept the Palestinians, either to share the land with them or to share power with Palestinians.
Daoud Kuttab, thank you very much for talking to us here on TRT World. Really appreciate your taking out the time, sir.